Gang, we are talking about playing chess today. Maybe it's inspired by the Queen's Gambit, or maybe it's simply the way in which we should look to grow our real estate teams. Nonetheless, we're talking about playing chess instead of playing checkers when it comes to growing a real estate team. Nice to have you all join us. My name is Erik Hatch of Hatch Realty and Hatch Coaching based out of Fargo, North Dakota. Let me give you a rundown of the businesses that I get the privilege of being a part of. And by all means, if you are watching this live, if you're here on the live webinar, ask a ton of questions, put them in the chat box. We want to hear from you. And if you are watching a recording, go ahead and comment in the YouTube comment section, and we will respond to everything that's out there, even nice compliments about how blue my eyes look today because my sweater matches my eyes. Okay. Let me tell you about my businesses. I started in real estate back in 2006, part-time, but went full-time in 2011. And I started building a team. I'll help unfold that here in a little bit, but I started building the team in 2012, just a year after I had been in it full-time. We skyrocketed, had big success. Then I got kicked out of a brokerage, crashed, burned, failed super miserably, and have rebuilt since then. Now, here it is as I record this March 23rd, and next week we will close on our 5,000th home since opening up Hatch Realty in 2014. That's pretty fun. We are pacing right now to sell between 1,300 and 1,400 homes as a team this year. That's out of Little Fargo, North Dakota. And then we have 4 expansion markets where we have 1 or 2 agents in each of those markets. So most of our sales comes from a 2-county area that has 250,000 people, and we have about a 10% market share in that area. So we're having some fun. 5 years ago, my partners Robbie and Rachel and I decided that we wanted to get into coaching. We loved what we were doing to impact and influence our team, and we were getting a lot of demand from people saying we want help with leadership and lead conversion and other things. And so we jumped into this Hatch coaching game 5 years ago and haven't looked back since. Having so much fun impacting and influencing the real estate industry. And we get to talk, with all that aforementioned, we get to talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is how to grow a real estate team. We cleverly titled this that we're here not playing checkers, but instead we want to play chess. We want to be strategic with it. Side note, if you haven't watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix yet, as soon as this is done, end your day and go and watch The Queen's Gambit. Just binge on it all because it's a fantastic movie about chess. Nonetheless, let's talk about growing a team. And I want to start first with the mistakes that I made, because some of you are in it right now. Some of you are wanting to start a team. Some of you are in a team. Some of you are running a team. In the comment box, I'm going to ask that you put the size of your team, number of people, salespeople, admin, ISAs, all that. Put the number of people in the comment box. I want to know the size of your teams as we go. We have a 10-person team here, a 5-person team, 6, 8, 13, 5, another 8. We're getting numbers all around here. My team today is 52 people. I see 20, I see 22, I see 2, I see 9. My team is 52 people right now, and I want to share with you some insights as to how I think you should grow and how you need to grow, because this is a strategy game. Let's talk about what I did in the beginning, though. In the beginning, it was 2012. I had come off of being a really successful realtor. I sold 52 houses my first year in production full time. Dale here is at 35. Thanks for that, Dale. I was in my own way, right? When I started out, I said, I got to figure out how am I going to leverage my life. And I read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book, and it said your first hire should be an admin. So I'm like, okay, makes great sense. I'm going to hire an admin. And as I hired that admin, I gave that person all the projects that I hadn't been getting to. I actually didn't train her to leverage me. I trained her to grow me. I want you to see that distinct difference, because it is a very distinct difference. Is your leverage that you're bringing in helping, or are your team members coming in? Are they leveraging you, or are they growing you? Please write that down, because it is a distinct difference. The first person I hired to grow me. And what it actually did is it created more work for me. I had to help her with the projects because she didn't have the market knowledge and the seasonality in real estate like I did. And then we were actually adding more work to my plate when that actually procured more business. And so I made a very big first tragic mistake, not in just growing agents, we're going to get to that point in a minute, but in growing the leverage around me. The mistake that I made, and the mistake many of you make, is that you don't bring in leverage for you. I want you to see, know, and understand this, that as a producer, you are the most important person in your ecosystem, bar none, hands down, and you should figure out a way to get as much leverage as possible around you as a salesperson. Now, I know tons of teams, and I've coached a plethora of teams that have grown in this sort of way. I'm an agent, I'm producing really well. Maybe I have a couple of admin that are there, but now I want to sell a ton of houses. And the way I want to sell a ton of houses is I'm going to bring in 5 or 10 buyer agents. And those 5 or 10 buyer agents are going to all be really successful. And the deals that I can't get to, I'm giving to them. And so we're all going to make a ton of money. They're going to make a ton of money. I'm going to make a ton of money off of them. And everybody's going to have a ton of money. But that crap doesn't work. That is a checkers move, y'all. That is a move in which you are simply playing a short-term game for a short-term win. That's the game that I played back in 2012. I started my team in 2012. I had a part-time admin, and I brought on, within the first 2 or 3 months, I think I had 6 agents that were working with me. Now, I hired a bunch of people, and in my mind, here's what I said in my checkers mindset. I said, I bet each person's going to sell 30 houses in a year. So if these 6 people sell 30 houses each, that's 180 extra transactions. Our average commission is $6, and so or $6,000, $6. That's a hell of a market. Our average commission is $6,000. So they're going to get half of it. I'm going to get half of it, and so we're looking at was that $540,000 in gross commission that I would make, and then they'll make $540,000 in gross commission also. They're going to have good lives. They're going to be saying, Eric, oh my gosh, it's so great being in your world because you're getting us all these leads. And then after I pay my bills and everything else, I should make hundreds of thousands of dollars off of that. That $540,000. Even if I profit a third of that after paying expenses, that's still crazy money, right? That's still $180,000 that I'm going to net off of my team. These agents are going to be really successful because they get to learn from me. I am the grand poobah. I am the one in which they want to learn from. And I'm going to make money. They're going to make money, and they're going to stick around forever. If that sounds like a familiar mindset, please raise your hand right now. There's a little button on Zoom that says raise your hand. I want to know who that sounds like, because I think that is a normal situation that we find ourselves in, is that look at that, everybody's raising their hands. I see hands going up. We think oftentimes that adding a bunch of agents is the way to be successful. In 2013, my world came crashing down. My team in 2012, our first year of being a team, we sold 192 houses. Finished the year with 11 of us. 11 of us sold 192 houses, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're a hell of a team. And I made one of the big mistakes that I make when growing a team, and that is all my commission, all the dollars that I was making, they stayed in the company kitty. I was using my production to fuel my profit and loss statement. See, if you want to do this the right way, you need to first pay yourself a salary for being the CEO. It's point number one. Pay yourself a salary for being a CEO. I think if you're a team doing over $1 million in GCI, you should be paying yourself a minimum of $100,000 to run that business. That's what a good CEO should be making. As your team gets bigger, you may be paying yourself more. The second thing you should be paying is for all the commission that you're earning as a salesperson, not as a company owner, but as a salesperson. You should be paying yourself in a separate account that exact same split. Not paying yourself a different split, but if your agents are on a 40-60 split or a 50-50 split, whatever it may be, you're literally paying yourself as a producer in another bucket. That money is not in the company bucket. And then you're left with company profit. And at the end of 2012, I'm like, man, I made so much stupid money. This is great. But of the 192 transactions that we sold, I was 113 of those 192. That is not a good way to make company money. I made good producer money, but that was not a good way to make company money because remember, I said I had 11 people on my team. 2 were admin, 8 were salespeople, and then me. So I had 8 salespeople sell a total of, 79 houses. I had 8 people sell a total of 79 houses. That sucks for them. Period. That is not a win for the people in my ecosystem. I didn't train them right. I didn't hire right. I didn't give them the right kind of tools and opportunities for them to be massively successful. I had some money, but I didn't have anything I was proud of. See, money is a liar because it can lead you to believing that you're doing something that's really successful. But ultimately, I learned my lesson because 4 months into 2013, it was April of 2013, I got a call from my broker saying, Erik, we need to talk. And I had a lot of these conversations over the last 3 or 4 months. And I walked into the meeting room and there was her and our team leader, and they kicked me out. They're like, Erik, you are more of a liability than an asset. We're better without you than we are with you. And I'm like, this is the stupidest move this company's ever made. I'm so awesome. Everybody thinks I'm awesome. I'm selling all these houses. My team is so successful. This is such a great win. And then I was wrecked, right? I've never been fired from anything in my life. I'm like a goody two shoes, brown nosing, suck up kind of guy. And that was unbeknownst for me. In fact, I came from the ministry to get into real estate. I'm like, I'm this good church guy. There's no way I'm going to get fired. I'm perfect. My ego was out of control and I had built a checkers board of talent. There was no strategy. There was no implementation of success. And so when I went to my team and I told them, all right, I got kicked out. I'm going to another brokerage. Who's coming with me? 2 people said, I'm coming with. 2 people, an admin and a buyer agent. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm the one that sucks. Maybe it was me all along. And I ate so much humble pie. I crawled into my turtle shell for like 8 or 9 months. And then I said, I got to lick my wounds and I got to do this the right way. Because it was all about my success. I assumed that the table scraps that I was leaving for everybody else was going to lead to their success because I was this unbelievable asset in their life that everybody would learn from watching me. I was terribly wrong. I had hired incorrectly. I had trained incorrectly. I had equipped incorrectly, and I got what I deserved. Now I get to be a part of my ecosystem in which we're selling 13 or 1400 homes this year. And I work in that business 16 hours a week. How does that happen? How does it go from being such a dumpster fire in 2013 to now in 2021, 8 years later, living where I'm living and having what I'm having? And that's what we're talking about here. I want to help you get there, and I want to give you some really important takeaways for you, things that you need to be doing, things that you need to be seeing, because this is not a checkers game. This is a chess game. Number 1, hire right. Hire slow, hire intentionally, be so cautious about who comes into your world. Hire right. It's number 1. There's no way around it. 80% of your problems will go away if you hire right. And I didn't hire right when I first started. I hired people who wanted to sell real estate. I was like an army recruiter, like we're going to take anybody who wants to come and sign up and we're going to make soldiers out of them. We didn't do it right because we didn't hire right. We have a 9-step hiring process that we follow at Hatch Realty. Let me give you a very, very quick rundown. Number 1 is you place the ad and you place it really strategically. We use a company called Wise Hire. I will include in an email to those of you watching live, I'll include a link to Wise Hire because I think, and I got to make a note because I'm going to forget to do that otherwise. Wise Hire. There we go. So we place a really strategic ad with WiseHire. They put it on Indeed and Monster and Craigslist and LinkedIn and all those places so that we cast a really wide net. Number two, what we do is we make sure that we vet these people that are applying. You'll get all sorts of applications if you place a really great ad, and you should filter that down. That filtering process is super important. Review those resumes, creep on people on social media. You're not making decisions based on anything that's like a fair housing or protected class, but instead you're making decisions to say, is this person a little bit nutso or not? I don't want a keyboard warrior on my team. I don't want a victim on my team. I don't want a complainer on my team. And you can find a lot of that on social media. And so we do our research. That leads to step number three. Step number three is we do a career night. One of the best things we do because we see the whites of the eyes of people. You can do a career night on a Zoom call as well. I prefer it in person. It depends on where your temperature engages with COVID and social distancing. This career night is, of course, you telling people about your business, your career, and the opportunities, but it's really a chance for you to weed out the people that don't feel like they fit. Let's say you get 50 applicants for a job, and then you tell them, hey, there's an extra step. You got to come to this career night. That's going to go down to 15 people like that. Like super fast, you're going to weed out people that are just applying for jobs to fulfill their unemployment benefits, or they're just applying for jobs to see what low-hanging fruit is out there. And I'm looking for people who are hungry, and the hungry people show up to the career night. And then when you see the whites of their eyes and the energy that they bring, there's like 3 people usually that you're like, hey, I could see myself working with that person. That goes to number 4. Number 4 is we send out essay questions for them to fill out. Even if we didn't get a chance to connect with them well on the career night, we want to send out these essay questions because it's super important to see how articulate they are and where their passions really go. It's not about work, it's about life. Number 5 is we ask them to do like a 30-minute phone interview. This is now a one-on-one for the first time, a 20 or 30-minute phone interview. Number 6 is we'll check references on these people. And we follow what Keller Williams has taught about going 3 deep. So you ask for 3 references. These 3 people give you 10 or 20 minutes worth of answers. Then you ask each of them, who's somebody that also knows this candidate that I can talk to? And they give you 3 references. You do reference checks on those 3, and then you ask the same question: who's one person that I can talk to that would know this person? So you're doing in total up to 9 reference checks, because I'm not going to let crazy into my world. If you want to play a chess game, you better learn all you can about this person. So step number 8 is that department then has the final interview. It's more of out for coffee or beer or lunch, whatever it may be, getting them in a social setting so that the group can say, hey, I really like vibing with this person. And then number 9 is you give them the job offer. So all that being mentioned, the 9-step hiring process is a part of number one. The most important thing that you can do in playing chess is to hire right. Number 2, train right. If you want to train somebody correctly, you have to follow my 3-step process. And I'm going to get there in just a moment, but I want to tell you what most people do. Most people do this. Hey, welcome to the team. I'm going to walk you through all these things, and then I want you to shadow me. Shadowing me is really important. I want you to learn how the master does his job. And so you welcome them in, and they're training, they're going through, they're watching you, they see what you're doing, they're taking some active notes, they're in your car driving from appointment to appointment, you're having great conversation. And then you say to them, all right, new guy, I think you got it. Why don't you go sell some houses now? And they're like, you got it, boss. This sounds great. Assuming they're prepubescent. And so they're going to then immediately go to the 3rd step, and that is go and do. Because the 3-step process is this: watch me, watch you, go and do. Please write that down. Watch me, watch you, go and do. The watch me portion is the shadowing portion that we just alluded to. It is the time in which you are watching, that new person is watching their trainer learning on the job. There, of course, is classroom work and coursework and things that they need to learn, see, and understand. That's the first part. then people immediately say, okay, you got it, and you jump to it. But that's as foolish as this. That's me saying to Phil Mickelson, I usually use Tiger Woods in this example, but he's still recovering from his accident. And so that's maybe not the example I want to use. And so I'll say Phil Mickelson, one of my favorite golfers. He's left-handed, I'm left-handed. So I love Phil Mickelson. If I say to Phil Mickelson, Phil, I want you to train me as a golfer. He says, okay, come follow me around the golf course for a week. You're going to watch me in the bunker. You're going to watch me on the driving range and on the putting green. And you're going to watch me in the middle of the fairway and when I'm in the rough and all the choices that I make. And then Phil says, all right, Erik, after a week of watching me golf, go and be a better golfer. Now, if you've seen me golf, it is not pretty. I'm like Charles Barkley with a golf club. It just looks ugly and sloppy, and occasionally I'll get a good one. See, wouldn't the value be if Phil Mickelson went to the driving range with me and he watched me swing and he adjusted my stance, my club choice, my head placement, my follow through, my grip, and he watched and watched and watched. And then he coached, he adjusted, he maneuvered, and then he watched again. See, some of you are even doing this second step. You're doing the watch you portion where you're watching them. And then you're telling them, hey, work on this and work on this. But then you're not watching their swing again. You're abandoning that, saying, heck, this just doesn't work. Like, or you got it now. You, go ahead and crush it as a golfer. And you're doing that to your salespeople. You're telling them what to work on, and then you're not watching their swing again. Your job in a team ecosystem is to coach and to coach diligently and intentionally so that that person is confident enough to go and do without you watching. If I want to shoot consistently in the 80s or the lower 90s in golf, I can't just watch Phil Mickelson golf, and I can't just go to the golf course. I got to go to the driving range and to the putting green, and I got to go work out of the bunker, and I got to practice. See, most of you are not practicing enough. Even if you're hiring right, even if you're getting step number 1 correct, the number 2 step of training correctly, you're messing up. See, this is a chess game and it takes strategy. You want to jump to the immediate success, and the immediate success won't come. Number 3 is this. You are giving your best to your newest. It's a huge mistake that people are making. If you want to do it right, you give your best to your best. Notice in the beginning, I talked about how leveraging you as the salesperson is like the most important thing. I want to introduce to you, some of you know of this model, some of you, this is the first time you've heard of it, at least on an in-depth time, but there is a showing partner model, a way in which to leverage the top agents. I love the showing partner model. By the way, look at that cardboard cut. Isn't that sweet? I'm so manly. I was opening a box and got cut. That's how manly I am. This showing partner model has been revolutionary in my business and my clients' business, my coaching clients' business. Seriously, it is the thing that I think is the most important piece for you to adopt on your team. If you hear anything from this webinar today, if you hear anything from this video, it needs to be to embrace the showing partner model. You are the most valuable person, and your salespeople are the most valuable people in your ecosystem. And so let's say I want to hire 5 agents or 3 agents or 1 agent, whatever it may be, because I don't want to do that leverage stuff anymore. I don't want to do work. I don't want to work with buyers. I'm just exhausted with it. I've earned my way out of the business and I'm going to make all this money. So in our minds, let's do this. Let's set a $10,000 commission. A $10,000 commission is a great healthy commission. And so in our mind, we think, all right, if I have 5 deals, could be purchase leads, could be sphere deals, doesn't matter. If I have 5 deals, I want to hand those to a buyer agent. I don't have time for those anyways. I have so much business coming my way, or we're purchasing so much business, or I'm buying cheap leads, and I'm going to close 5 extra deals because my buyer agent is going to do it. But there's a really good chance that you didn't hire right, and there's a really good chance that you didn't train the person correctly. Even so, if they're hired right and trained correctly, they still aren't a seasoned agent. And so I would much rather put my trust into a seasoned agent than the new kid on the block. But you're going and you're giving them, you're playing checkers, right? You're giving them, hey, buyer agent, here's 5 at-bats that you should be able to close all of them. 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000. You're on a 50-50 split. So they're going to make 25 grand and you as the company owner or leader are going to make 25 grand. Why wouldn't you want to make 25 grand on somebody else's back? It seems awesome, right? But let's be honest, they're not going to close all 5. You are ignorant to think that the new person is going to close all 5. I think at best they're going to close 3 of those. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, $30,000. And after the commission split, you make 15 and they make 15. 15 grand is still a lot of money, but you had to buy those and you had to leverage those and you had to equip your office for those. There's a better way. What if you, as the most valued person in your team, started to build leverage around you and you hired a showing partner and put them on a salary? In Fargo, North Dakota, we pay our showing partners a $2,500 a month salary, which changes the entire ecosystem of who you're hiring. Because when you're hiring an agent, what you're doing is somebody who's on full commission, what you're doing is you're crossing your fingers saying, I sure hope they have a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. I really hope they have a trust fund or a great savings account or a second job, but they're still going to give full time to real estate. None of those ever really work out. I mean, occasionally you'll find a leprechaun, but usually you have somebody who has bad financial skills and they are starving. Welcome to real estate. You're not going to get paid for 4 to 6 months if you're decent at all. And I'm not going to train you very well. Hope you make it. Instead, you bring on somebody on a salary. How many people need a salary job? Almost everybody. You bring them in on a salary that's a livable wage, and you're giving them an opportunity to get their doctorate in real estate while they're in your ecosystem. They get to learn from your Phil Mickelson. They get to learn from getting their MBA in real estate by working under you and leveraging you. So now, as we're doing this, you take those 5 deals worth $50,000. And instead of giving that to a buyer agent who's only going to close 3, and then you're going to end up with 15 grand, you're going to keep and close all 5 of those deals because you are the bee's knees. You're the cat's pajamas. You are a fantastic producer that can close all 5 of those deals. That's 50 grand, y'all. And what did this cost you? Cost you the salary of a showing partner for a month or 2. Cost you $2,500 to $6,000, depending on how long it takes to get those 5. See, most of us are playing the checkers game of I'm going to hire a bunch of agents and they're going to rid myself of this headache and this pain of all this extra business. And I'm going to have this big fat life and I'm going to sit back and win the game. But the truth is your strategy, I think, is wrong. The best way for you to make a ton of cash is on your back as a producer. I think more people get out of real estate not more. I think most people get out of real estate production far too quickly because you think it's easy. It has taken me years and years to be confident that when I give my buyer agents these 5 deals, they're going to close 5 out of 5. Like, honestly, 3, 4, 5 years of training and development so that I can do this with confidence. And so what's the solution? The solution is this. This is number 4. Build leverage around your talent. You're the talent. I'm the talent. We want to build around that talent. I have a question here from Kimberly. What do the showing agents do when they're not showing houses? They have 3 tasks and responsibilities in this order. Number 1, their job is to leverage the agent. That may mean running and getting a lockbox. That may mean showing properties. That may mean being front facing with the client. They are that kind of leverage. Okay. So the first thing they do is they leverage their agent. The second thing that they do, and by the way, I have a really great in-depth video on why you should never hire a buyer agent. And I will send that link out to you as well. Let me see, YouTube buyer agent. All right, got it. So number 1 is they leverage the agent. Kimberly, number 2 of what a showing partner does is they train. They role play, they practice, they develop their skills. Remember, they are in school. I'm paying them to be in school. And number 3 is they lead generate. They can lead generate from their sphere. They can lead generate from your pond. But if they want to graduate from being a showing partner, you have to have a career path of what does it take in order to graduate. In our ecosystem, they have to do at least 20 sphere deals and be a showing partner for at least 2 years to graduate. And you might be thinking, why would anybody sign up to do that? Because they get to be a friggin' doctor in my world with a guaranteed income of $150,000 to $500,000 a year after 2 years of getting paid to earn while they learn. It is sexy, and don't think that nobody will want to do it. Most people want to do it because you're not looking for the money hungry people. You're looking for the service driven people. And I love that. Susan asked this question is, do they get commissions on top of the split? $2,500 a month salary made her heart stop. Susan, I'd ask where you're at. Please type into the chat box here, Susan, where are you at? In Fargo, North Dakota, $2,500 a month is enough in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. And what's your average sales price, Susan? Let's hold here. Average sales price for Susan. I'm banking 450, 260. Okay, so I'm 250 for mine. Yours is 260. We get people to come in and work for $30,000 a year, and we don't give them a commission split on the deals that they close. We do give them commission split on the deals that they procure that close. So sphere and open house deals, or deals that they've caught in the pond and converted over, they get an ISA cut. In our world is 8%. They get an ISA cut if they can convert a pond deal. They get a 15% referral if we give them an open house deal or a sphere deal. Because remember, you're paying them a salary. That's why you're not giving them a full 25%. You're paying them a salary to procure this stuff. Our showing partners make $35,000 to $55,000 a year when it's all said and done. That's what they're making in Fargo, North Dakota. Okay, so back to point number 4 here. And great questions, ladies. Thank you for that. Point number 4, I am blanking on right now. Somebody please type into the chat box what I said for point number 4. That would be a very good help to me. Otherwise, I'm just going to make something up and I know it'll be good. I had all my notes worked out in my head, and those questions threw me off and threw me for a loop. Taking a drink, seeing if somebody can tell me, build leverage around your talent. Thank you, Carla. People are taking notes because this is now my favorite topic, and why I blanked on it is beyond me. Here's how most of us build our ecosystems. I have a bunch of agents. These are my 10 agents that I've had on my team. They all produce pretty well. I want to sell more houses as a company. So I need to add 5 more agents over here. And what you've created is you've created infighting. You've created competition. See, the chess move tells us this, is when we have people here, we need to figure out, how do we keep this talent? How do we leverage around this talent? How do we grow this talent and build an ecosystem for them that's so great? Richard Branson has a great quote, and he says, train your people well enough so that they can leave, treat them well enough so that they won't want to. And for me, I am going to train my people to be superstars in real estate. And yes, some will leave. But my goal, my mindset is not what can I make off of them, but it is instead saying, how can I transform their life and how can I help their dreams come true? And that's what's so unique about our team and our ecosystem, is that I am committed to making the dreams come true of the people that are on my team. It is about their goals, not mine. And so I show up to build them a runway every single day, and people stick around for longer if somebody continues to build them a runway. Back to this example here. If I have my top people here, and then you want to sell more houses, we want to bring in more agents. Immediately, the folks on this side have a scarcity mindset. They start thinking there's not enough pie to go around, there's not enough food at the table. And then we make the mistake as leaders of giving our attention to the new people, and we stop giving our attention to the seasoned people. They already have it figured out. They already know that they're going to be successful. They've already mastered this game. So I'm not going to give them any more attention. All my attention goes to the new people. Well, guess what? These people are pissed. Some of them will leave when you add people over here. It happens almost every single time, is that you're bringing in competition for your top people, and you wonder why they're leaving, because you're done building their goals and now you're pursuing your goals. There's a better way to do that. And it looks like this, is instead of bringing people here, you bring them here. This is when a showing partner comes into play. This is when ISAs come into play, is you're leveraging your top people. You're continuing to build for them ecosystems, mentoring, guidance. They can earn a cut or a rip on the people that are underneath of them as they're training them and developing them. I think sales managers, for the most part, that is a sloppy way to run a business, because sales managers are in charge of 10 or 20 agents, and that's a really bad business model. Jesus had 12 and y'all ain't Jesus, okay? I think you should have no more than 5 or 6 people reporting to you. And that's why this plan here with all these agents doesn't work. In fact, in most ecosystems, it doesn't work. I've seen it work in some, and that's all fine, well, and good. But in my world, it doesn't work. And so this is the model that works, to build leverage around. And then as the tide rises for everybody, this person here earns the right to now sit at that same table. Belladonna asked the question, how many agents are on my team? For producing agents, I have 15 or 16. And then I have some agents in training underneath them. I have some showing partners underneath them. I have ISAs. I have a plethora of admin. And that's how we get to 52 people on our team. All right, Kimberly has the question. If they graduate, what do they need to do? 20 sphere deals that they earn while they learn, and they get commissions that they close. Yep, they get 15% commission on that. The other step is the length of time. We keep our people as showing partners for a minimum of 2 years. This is your fellowship time. If you understand the medical field at all, people spend their time in fellowship for 2 to 4 years. I had a showing partner last as a showing partner for 4 years until they finally earned the right to graduate. And now he's selling consistently 50 to 70 houses for us. He knew what was waiting for him. And if they can't feed themselves in our ecosystem, by the way, gang, of the 13 or 1400 homes that we'll sell this year, 60% of those will be sphere deals. Our people know how to do business, and they don't need me, but they know I'll have a much better go of it. Kimberly asked the question, what are his splits after the 2-year plan? Starts at, in our world, starts at a 40% and graduates up to a 50% as he continues to climb on that on the buy side. But everything is earned and nothing is given. And that is point number 5 on this, is that everything is earned and nothing is given. That is the chess move of all chess moves, gang, is if you want people to be successful, it is about everything being earned and nothing being given. Who's training our showing agents? Amanda, we employ a full-time training and development person who's there to train and develop them. Plus, they're on these mini teams, and so they're getting their MBA from that top producer as well. It's built into an ecosystem where they have people that they are integrated with, that it's fully implemented, that they're going to get training on the highest of accord in this industry. It's why I've never had a showing partner graduate to an agent and not make it as an agent. They all have been massively 6 figures successful. Is he still a showing agent after 4 years? He's graduated and now he's in his 2nd year of production. So he's in his 6th year with us. Belladonna asks, are they training 5 days per week? Yep. Yes, they are. I want to pause here for a moment, gang. There's a lot of questions about minutia and like the how. I don't want you to get riddled down with the intricacies of like, if I start training my people 5 days a week, I'm going to have this. I'm going to have this next world and this next ecosystem. It is the mindset piece I don't want you to miss out on. The mindset piece is that this is a chess game of strategy, that you need to make sure that you as the leader are setting up an ecosystem of being a farm system. If you understand anything about baseball, they have this farm system where you develop talent in order to elevate them up. We are a built-in farm system. Guess what? One of these agents leaves, I have 3 ready to go right here underneath of them. They're ready to change the stars for their life, and they will earn their spot. Everything is earned and nothing is given. Most of us are just adding more agents at the same damn level, expecting the same damn results or more so, and it doesn't work that way. There is a better way to do this business, and it is on the other side of having the mindset that you are a leadership and development academy. that everything in your world is on the other side of a lot of time invested. Y'all want to reap the benefits of the harvest today without planting the seeds and tilling the soil and tending to all this other stuff. You're looking to gain while you should be looking to give. I spent 6 years of my time reliant on my own personal production and living off of very meager percentage splits because I saw the bigger picture. I invested in paying for some of these now my agents will pay for the showing partner salaries, but I paid for them at first because I wanted to prove the model. And I paid abundantly to have extra leverage because I saw what real talent would do. And I like to think of myself hopefully as real talent. I used to be a buyer agent on a team, and I went to them and I said, hey, I'm selling 70% of the deals from my own sphere. Like, can I get a higher split? Can I work listings? And they said, no. They said, Erik, no, that's not how we're built. And so I left within 30 days. Talent will stick around when you say yes. That's the next point. I think we're on number 6. If I'm not on number 6, please correct me. Number 6 is to say yes when. Don't say no, but say yes when. Erik, can I have a higher commission split? Yeah. When you sell 100 deals from your sphere. Erik, can I work listings? Of course you can, after you've checked these 5 boxes. Our entire ecosystem has evolved from we were buyer agents, then listing agents, and then we started to let those that graduate get there. And now we have many teams within teams, and we have all these different levels. And it's too complicated for me to spell out for you right now because we've continued to evolve our ecosystem because we keep saying yes when. On the other side of when is a massive amount of opportunity like you've never seen before. Get out of the damn box that you're living in and start affording yourself the opportunity for huge growth by seeing what talent does by keeping them around. And you saying no to talent will never keep them around. Think bigger, dream more, and get the heck out of your way. Mike asked the questions about ISAs. We pay our ISAs 8%. Do we pay them before the agent splits or from the company split? Let's say we're on a 50-50 split, Mike. Company gets 50%, agent gets 42%, ISA gets 8%. So that's where the ISAs get paid. Our agents pay our ISAs. I pay their salaries, agents pay their commission cut. Our agents pay the salaries of the showing partners as well. The video I'll send out to you on showing partners gives a much more in-depth analysis of this. Gang, we're gonna wrap in like 5 or 6 minutes. So if you have some questions, keep them coming. I wanna be able to answer them as best I can. But I wanna finish with number 7. My 7th and final point on how to play chess instead of playing checkers is this, is you need to know your numbers. And I'm not talking your finance numbers. I'm talking about your leadership numbers, and I'm talking about your production numbers. 3 things I want to share with you. Number 1 is the rule of 6 to 1. I already alluded that to you, okay? That is, you should have no more than 6 people reporting to 1 leader. After that, it's diluted and watered down. And if you have a sales manager overseeing 10 or 20 people, I think you are set up for mediocrity or set up for failure. You should have no more than 6 people reporting to 1 person. That's the rule of 6 to 1. The second number I want you to write down is the rule of 3s and 10s. Google it when we're done with this, but I will share with you the insight of it is that when an ecosystem grows, everything changes when you go from 1 to 3 people, 3 to 10 people, 10 to 30, 30 to 100, 100 to 300, and so on. Those are points in which a redevelopment and a reinvention of who you are has to show up. It is a really important point. And most people hit the glass ceiling around 10 people, 10 or 15 people. Again, that could be 8 or 9, it could be 11 or 12, but really, most people can figure out how to go from 1 to 3 and from 3 to 10, but then they get stuck and in their way. Gang, we were a team of 35 people doing 600 to 650 transactions a year, every year for 4 years. Now, those are big numbers in real estate. I get that. But I felt like I was kissing my sister, y'all. Like it was, I couldn't, like it was unfulfilling. We kept trying new things and I kept trying this. And my agents were like, if you do this, we're going to leave. And there was all this tension and anxiety and it was really set up and I was stuck. And I was stuck because I was stuck as a leader of 30. See, the rules of threes and tens tell me that if I want to grow, I need to be a lead. If I want to grow an ecosystem more than 30, I have to be a leader for more than 30. I got to start thinking bigger. If you're a team of 10 and you need to start being a leader of 30, and to understand that mindset of 6-to-1 and understand how many people need to be in your ecosystem and who you need to be for each of these people. Every time you add a person, that means you need to be dedicating more time to leadership and your team and less time to production and other things. And then it's the elevation of other leaders in your ecosystem, finding other talent to come in and to make an influencing impact. Not that they just have responsibility, but that they also have authority. And to take responsibility and authority and to have those two merge is on the other side of massive trust. And the only way that you have massive trust is if you train exceedingly well and you watch me, watch you go and do. You see how all this ties together. So I was stuck at 30 to 35 people and 600 to 650 transactions for 4 years. And we finally got gutsy. On top of getting gutsy of adding more people to our ecosystem, and we added like this, what we did is I dedicated my time to leadership, to vision casting, to building, to being the person that my team needs me to be. And now I can confidently say I'm a leader of 100. Even though we have 52 people on our team, I'm in the mindset of a leader of 100. And as they grow to 70 and 80 people, I got to get to be that leader of 300 now. And I need to be a bigger thinker, a bigger leader, and spend all that time for other people. And so, if you're stuck right now, my guess is that you are stuck because your leadership ability and capacity has not caught up to where it needs to be. Leaders are made, they are not born. And so if you're like, that's not me, I can't get there, I'm going to say bull crap. That is absolutely, positively not the truth. How is this a chess game? This is a leadership game. This is not a real estate game. This is a leadership development and a leadership game. We are nothing more than marketing companies that serve people. That's what a real estate company is. It's a marketing company that serves people. And the only way to grow something really special is through leadership. I told you I had 3 numbers. We had the rule of 6-to-1. We had the rule of 3s and 10s. The final ratio or number I want to share with you is the rule of 20-to-1. The rule of 20-to-1 works like this. I studied and have studied top teams across the industry, and I wanted to see what was the ratio, because people will say, how many agents do you have, or how big is your team, or what does this look like? And I just said, how many people full-time are on your team, producing agents and administrators? And then I divided that with the number of transactions that they would do annually. And the healthy number for a team, so long as the average sales price is $200,000 to $350,000. So we're in that market average for most of us. If you're in a higher end market, the number is different. If you're in a lower end market, the number is different. But the ratio of 20-to-1 is the sign of a healthy team. Meaning, if you have 20 people on your team and you're a healthy team, I should expect 400 transactions. Because for every one person, you should get 20 transactions. You need to grow by 100 transactions next year, you need to add 5 people. I think the rule of 20-to-1 is the truest breakdown of how your team should be structured in this industry. And I did it by studying and analyzing. There are certainly outliers on either end of it. But a true healthy organization, I think, looks like a 20 transactions to every 1 person ratio. Now, I want to put an asterisk on that. Please put an asterisk on that and say that any agent who has been in the business 6 months or less doesn't count. I could go and hire 10 new agents today. Of course, it would be hired like this, but I would hire 10 new agents today. And I don't expect any production out of them or any real value, because we put so much emphasis on training and onboarding and developing that I can't see any fruit from that labor for 6 months. And so if you're working your numbers in your head saying, my goal right now is to sell 400 homes this year, I have 15 people on my team, how am I going to get there? You can't go hire 6 agents and expect you to get there by the end of the year. Those 6 agents need a 6-month ramp up period to really start producing. And so my final point, I think it was number 7, was know your numbers. And when you know your numbers, everything else becomes exponentially easier. So leverage your top people, know your numbers, build right, play some damn chess, stop playing checkers. Gang, I'm going to open it up for questions, but I have a couple of things I want to point to. I want you to make a comment here. Please give me a takeaway or an aha that you have from today. I want to share that with the group here. So please don't be silent. Tell me a takeaway or an aha that you have, and I want to give you a couple of calls to action. Number 1 is myself and my partner, Robbie T. A lot of you know he is a lead conversion master in this game, the best of the best. He and I do a weekly Hatch huddle. We spend 45 minutes in time on a Zoom call, Robbie and I. It's basically like an interactive podcast. And it's a thing that we are sharing with people. It's just $99 a month, but the best news is that it is free for the first month. So you can test drive that before you ever actually fully commit financially. And so I'll send out some Hatch Huddle stuff for you to take a look at. It is really important for you to dive into. A Hatch Huddle is an awesome, easy, inexpensive way for you to continue to grow your ecosystem. The next thing I want you to pay attention to is that we have some massive training modules. Robbie and I and our partner Connor have built out literally hundreds of training videos to help build ecosystems. It is a game changer. It is an easy monthly subscription for you, and you can use it for you and your entire team. So we can train you on how to build a real estate team. We can train you on how to convert leads on a really high level. We'll train you on agent training. We'll train you on training and onboarding. In fact, we will do most of it for you so that if you want to get really serious about hiring right and training really well, we got you covered. So I'm going to send out links for the Hatch training videos as well as the Hatch Huddle. I'm going to send you that YouTube link that I shared with you, and then I'm going to send you some Wise Hire information. A couple cool comments here. Changing the mindset of leveraging you instead of growing you with the people you bring into your ecosystem. Awesome. Salary partners are a giant mindset shift for you. Not sure if you can afford it right now. I tell you, one extra transaction a month will more than pay for that showing partner, Belladonna. Don't be afraid of a salary, because that is every salary you should have a 4x return on investment. An admin should have if you spend $40,000 on an admin, you should be able to show that they helped you close $160,000 more in GCI. Same with a showing partner, and the numbers really hold true. This is slow here. Let me catch this. What kind of volume in terms of applicants do we receive from using Wise Hire? Ryan, that's a loaded question, because in Fargo, we have a lot of mind share here. A lot of people know who we are and what we do, and so we tend to get more applicants. So it would be unfair of me to answer that for you. Amanda says, the idea of using showing agents and growing them instead of bringing them in and expecting immediate results is smart. Loves the idea and doesn't create resentment. Oh my gosh, you are so right on that. Changing your mindset of leveraging, we covered that. Could we send the Zoom to you? Kimberly, this will be sent out to you afterwards. We're going to render the video and then add a couple things in there for you. So that'll get sent out by the end of the day. Andrew loves the concept of the showing partner model. Super cool. This is a leadership game. Daniel, you're exactly right. This is 100% a leadership game. Connected to my background. Really cool to hear. Man, I'm just an idiot trying to figure this out. And so there you have it. Dale likes the rule of 20 to 1. So hopefully you pulled some value. Kimberly says, do I ever hire part-time folks? No, I want full-time success from them. And I only want people in my world who are massively hungry. They can be full-time in real estate and part-time in something else, but they need to be full-time in real estate, because that's the only way I know to get them predictable results. If I'm going to give them everything I have, they need to give me everything they have. With that, I have a coaching call in 3 minutes, so I'm going to bounce. Hope this was valuable for you all today. God bless you. Go and do good, and sign up for Hatch Huddle and Hatch training. All right. Be well.